Tyler the Creator has been an inspiration to me and many other producers throughout the past years. With recent albums like Flower Boy, Igor, and Call Me If You Get Lost, we saw an evolution in his craftsmanship. In this video, I'll be breaking down the various moving pieces that make Tyler's sound. Well, Tyler's. And before we get in, here's a short preview of the beats I will be covering today. I will be working backwards through time, exploring Call Me If You Get Lost first. The 2021 album, and then later the 2023 Deluxe, was a blend of hard beats and lush tracks with the theme of travelling around the world. I started this beat with a sample, which gave me heavy Call Me If You Get Lost vibes. I believe the most important thing about Tyler's sound is layers. On the many albums he has done, he utilises a lot of moving layers to create rich textures. I first played this lead, then I layered this synth brass stab, followed by these synth strings playing long drones, which is often seen in his work. Finally, I layered these extended piano chords on a regular piano and an E piano. On albums like Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost, you can hear the use of drum breaks. I took a similar approach by putting this drum break into a sample and then chopping it into a new rhythm. I then layered my favourite snare roll, and then the bass hitting on each downbeat to not take away from the live bass in the sample. I then decided to create a switch up, and intended for this section to have a similar vibe to Massa and the thought that you wanted to dance. I took this bossa nova sample, which I then manually chopped only the first bar to repeat. I then copied over the synth strings and the brass stabs for continuity. And then layered this bass from Ample on downbeats and then introduced the original synth bass into the second half. The arrangement of this beat is pretty simple, maintaining an ABA structure. I like the vibe of this beat and can hear DJ Drama screaming what country he's just landed in. We are going to take it back to Igor now, for the first beat of T. Being inspired by tracks like Boy Is a Gun and Are We Still Friends, I started with another sample and pitched it up by 7 semitones to create a more energetic vibe, and imitate the high-pitched aesthetic of the whole album. I then layered this bass line using a free plugin on Keybase, similar intro to Are We Still Friends. Returning back to the topic of layers, I layered these chords on 2 pads, then on synth bells with a short motif playing. I layered this synth string drone and then added a synth rundown at the end of the loop. As this beat is tailored towards more the Igor aesthetic, I kept the drum break as it is and added vinyl crackle underneath. And that's pretty much it for the second beat. Arguably the three most iconic tracks on Igor are Earthquake, Igor's Theme, and New Magic Wand. I'll be focusing on the last two. Igor's Theme managed to set the pretty gritty tone for the character of Igor and highlights what the album is about and what instrumentation is going to keep recurring throughout it. I start with a long sustained note like an Igor's Theme. I created this bass patch on Ableton's Drift Synth by using an 8-voice unison on 2 sawtooth waves, an octave apart, and a chorus, with a sub-bass layered underneath using the key bass. To build the intro, I then got a harsh pad and an E piano playing a minor second interval an octave apart, which is heard on What's Good. I then layered this E piano trill to create more dissonance. I wanted the main bass drum to have a similar feel to New Magic Wand. This is what it sounds like without the layers. And here are the million layers I added. I then added this motif playing on an E piano, which is meant to emulate how on New Magic Wand there is an electric piano that follows the line that Tyler sings. And this keeps reoccurring throughout the beat. There is little variation in the drums. In a similar fashion to the previous beats, I wanted to keep things consistent. I took a drum break and resampled it into this pattern. With a perk to emphasize the snare, and this rack kick to create this drum loop. I got this perk loop to act similarly to how the higher pitched, almost glass-like sounds that are present on New Magic Wand. I then created variation by having the piano lick mentioned earlier taking the spotlight, accompanied by synth accents and this 808 line. New Magic Wand has the iconic B section which breaks apart the harsh tonality of the song to then bring it back in. For my B section I layered these chords. And then this bass pattern. The final arrangement of the beat is pretty simple and repetitive, which then is concluded by this outro, and low bass steps to again imitate the New Magic Wand outro. I hope you enjoyed this video, despite it being longer than the last. I hope you can take away something from this, or maybe even have learnt a trick or so. If you could subscribe, that would be great, and my Instagram is here, likewise my Spotify, and I'll see you in the next one.